Chapter 791. If I further aid the cavalry, can they save Nahan? Hosanna asked tentatively. Indeed, this is the crux of the matter, Ydir thought, unsurprised. Having assisted the cavalry and verified the truth, what else could follow but such a plea? However, Ydir did not betray his thoughts and quietly spoke up. I fail to grasp your meaning. Do you believe Nahan's life is in peril? Hosanna, trembling yet continuing haltingly, said, The sage is merciful, or so I thought. But those around Nahan are different. Those who dislike him will not miss this chance, especially after he directly opposed the sage and even suffered injuries. And if the cavalry is added to the mix. Unable to continue, Hosanna covered his face, bowing his head, his breathing ragged with fear. It's surprising, even you know of the deep animosity between those following the sage and those loyal to Nahan within the Star of Nagran. Even individuals like their brothers Gale and Doyle, who followed the sage and disliked Nahan, had good relations with Hosanna. Those who knew him generally spoke well of him, so his awareness of this discord was unexpected. How could I not know? I have been closer to Nahan than anyone else. Hosanna, slowly lowering his hands, revealing the fearful and sad eyes of a young man of southern descent. In the Star of Nagran, many empathize and align with Nahan, but more do not. Until now, I could confront them, but not anymore. And if the sage's allegiance shifts, who would mediate then? The notion of mediation suggested much. It revealed that Hosanna hadn't lived in ignorance, but rather had been making efforts to keep the surrounding atmosphere harmonious for Nahan's side. The most dangerous kind in such entanglements is someone like him, innately good, gentle, and kind. But this shouldn't be mistaken for harmlessness. Hosanna, in his benevolence, would go to great lengths to find ways to favor Nahan. A fragile appearance should not be underestimated. Help isn't only through great physical strength. Sometimes a single word can sway hearts and lead to mistakes. Though thinking this, Ydir remained unmoved in posture and expression and continued. So, you are saying, in your view, Nahan would likely lose if he confronted the sage? Is that a fair assumption? ... Then, why should the cavalry interfere in a self-destructive fray, especially to save him? Are you aware of the innocent imperial citizens he killed, the buildings he destroyed, and the suffering he's caused? That is, the truth was that the cavalry would benefit from acting first, given the clear risk of their self-destruction and the looming danger of a disaster in the south, particularly for someone as unpredictable and dangerous as Nahan. However, unaware of these broader circumstances, Hosanna's complexion turned deathly pale. He urges that awakeners must be protected unconditionally, while non-awakeners can be killed without reason. But being awakeners isn't innate. Yesterday's non-awakeners could suddenly become awakeners tomorrow in this world. The truth was, due to the rare occurrence of awakenings and the newness of this phenomenon, many harbored misconceptions. There were no predetermined awakeners. Conversely, an awakener could lose their powers at any moment due to a rampage or injury, becoming indistinguishable from a non-awakener. So, whom does he intend to protect and whom to kill? ... Hosanna bit his lower lip so hard that it bled. Moreover, even the awakener's siblings he claimed to protect were left to be captured while he fled. You yourself have been abandoned, and yet you asked to save him using your power as leverage? Is Nahan more important than your own life? It's preposterous. Hosanna could not counter Ydir's words. He trembled, his shoulders shaking, and in a tearful voice he murmured, I know, the crimes committed by Nahan are grave, but he wasn't always like that. He saved many suffering awakeners, sacrificing himself to protect the Star of Nagran, longing for a safe haven for everyone. His only promise with the sage was just that. Ydir's attention was caught by the mention of a promise with the sage amidst his incoherent sobs. According to Khanna's speculation and reports, the sage's brainwashing ability seems to involve subtly embedding simple commands through speech, likely effective only once per person. The command, "Trust the Sage," was presumably ingrained in most awakeners under the Star of Nagran. Hosanna's reaction so far suggested he was likely under the same influence. However, Nahan had been subtly opposing the sage for some time. There had been speculation that even his opposition was orchestrated by the sage, but recent events seem to disprove that. A sage with brainwashing abilities wouldn't need to use someone like Nahan as a scapegoat to build trust and loyalty within the group. If he could make everyone believe in him completely, why bother with such tedious methods? Until either fully understood the sage's powers, he considered the possibility that the sage deliberately set up others to take the fall for him. But knowing the nature of the sage's power now changed things. If Nahan had been fully brainwashed like the others and deliberately made to be the antagonist, he should have stopped when it was time to fulfill his true purpose. But what was the reality? Nahan's opposition to the sage had grown more intense and definitive. This indicated that Nahan did not fully trust the sage like the other brainwashed awakeners, suggesting a different kind of manipulation. Could the key to understanding this lie in the promise Hosanna mentioned? A promise with the sage? What is that about? Just a promise, the one Nahan made when he first met the sage, before everything started in the desert. Hosanna mumbled incoherently, tears still streaming down his face. Either focused on the part about the conversation they had when they first met. It was said that the sage's brainwashing was attempted only after lightly fooling those who had just entered the Star of Nagran. However, according to the information, Nahan met the sage long before the Star of Nagran was properly formed, in its very early stages. Either was convinced that this promise was the key. I would like to hear more about this story. Hosanna, with tearful eyes, looked up. Seeing Either's serious expression, he appeared confused, yet slowly opened his lips. Is this story important? It might be, or it might not be. Don't beat around the bush. Just tell it. I'll be the judge of that. ... Hosanna, who had briefly harbored hope, once again dropped his gaze to the ground. Hesitating, he sighed and began to speak. To tell you about the promise, I have to break a promise with Nahan. I promised never to speak of the past to anyone again. So, you're saying you won't tell? No, I will tell, but I hope you won't reveal to others that you heard the story. It might seem trivial, but for me and for Nahan... Either exhaled shortly and raised a hand in a simple gesture, typically used when making a vow. Understood, I swear. Except for the commander, this will remain a secret. Is that satisfactory? Yes, I trust you. Hosanna let out a deep sigh, casting his eyes downward. Nahan belonged to the nobility of this place. I knew it! I told you, he was royalty or nobility.